the distant, ringed planet. To most, it's just another celestial body, a point of scientific curiosity. But delve deeper, beyond the sterile pronouncements of astronomy, and a chilling narrative begins to emerge. Saturn, often referred to as the Great Malefic, has held a profound and often terrifying significance in ancient mythologies and esoteric traditions for millennia. It's whispered about in hushed tones, linked to cycles of limitation, karmic debt, and an overarching sense of being trapped. This isn't about mere astrological influence, a gentle nudge in your personality. This is about a cosmic architecture, a system woven into the very fabric of our reality, with Saturn as its silent, imposing sentinel. Its presence in the heavens has been interpreted as a marker, a boundary, a cosmic warden. The ancients understood this dominion. They saw Saturn not just as a planet, but as a powerful entity, a source of profound, often somber, energies that profoundly shaped human experience and destiny. There are ancient texts, forgotten rituals, and hidden symbols all pointing to its true, far more sinister, role. But what are we truly seeing when we look up at that pale, distant orb? What forgotten cosmic significance has been deliberately buried, waiting to be rediscovered? To understand the shadows it casts, we must first grasp the very foundation of this prison. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Now let's keep going. This foundation, this cornerstone of the system, is known by many names, but none as stark and evocative as the Black Cube. You've seen it, perhaps without realizing its deeper meaning. It appears in ancient sacred geometry, in modern corporate logos, and in disturbing religious iconography. It's a shape that feels both simple and profoundly complex, exuding an aura of finality, of absolute containment. Imagine a perfect cube, but instead of light colors, it's cloaked in an impenetrable blackness. This isn't just a shape, it's an energetic blueprint, an architectural design for consciousness itself. It's a symbol of limitation, of boundaries that are meant to define and restrict. It's believed to be the very architecture of the soul prison, designed to hold us in a specific energetic frequency, preventing our true spiritual ascent. This cube isn't merely found in abstract symbols, it has been physically represented in places of power and worship across countless cultures. Its presence is no accident, but a deliberate imprint on our collective reality. Understanding its geometric properties is key to understanding the constraints placed upon us. But who are the forces that conceived of such a prison, and what is their ultimate goal for us? The architects of this intricate system are not of this realm, at least not in the way we typically understand it. They are often referred to as the Archons, a term that echoes through ancient Gnostic texts. These beings, often described as parasitic entities, are said to have infiltrated our reality, creating veils of illusion that obscure our divine nature and trap us in a perpetual cycle of ignorance and suffering. They are the ultimate deceivers, the puppeteers behind the scenes. Their power lies not in brute force, but in manipulation, in subtly altering our perception of reality, ensuring we remain blind to the true nature of our existence and our connection to the divine source. They feed on our confusion, our fear, our limited awareness. Think of them as cosmic programmers, continuously updating the software of our perceived reality, ensuring the glitches and errors that bind us remain in place. They are the veil makers, weaving intricate tapestries of distraction and false dogma, ensuring we never question the cage we inhabit. But their influence extends beyond mere illusion. They have also corrupted the very divine feminine forces that could help us break free. This corruption is most starkly evident in the redefinition and inversion of sacred feminine archetypes. One prime example is Astaroth. Once revered as a powerful goddess of divine love and wisdom, her name has been twisted, her essence demonized, and she has become a figure associated with darkness and temptation in many patriarchal religions. This inversion is a deliberate tactic, one of many used to disempower and confuse humanity. By associating divine feminine energies with evil, the Archons ensure that qualities essential for liberation, intuition, compassion, creative power, are feared and suppressed. It's a sophisticated form of psychological warfare, making us recoil from the very forces that could awaken us. This demonization isn't confined to a single figure. It's a pattern, a systematic dismantling of the sacred feminine, replaced by aggressive, masculine archetypes that promote conflict and control. The deception is layered, designed to make us doubt our innate power and spiritual potential. But this is just one ripple in a much larger cyclical pattern of confinement. The celestial body symbolizing this cycle of limitation is, of course, Saturn. Its rings, often depicted as beautiful adornments, are in esoteric circles understood as something far more sinister, a symbol of the repetitive cycles of reincarnation and oblivion that bind souls to this lower dimension. Each ring represents a turn of the wheel, a journey through life after life, often with memories wiped clean, ensuring the lessons are never fully integrated. This concept suggests that what we perceive as death is merely a transition back into the same energetic loop, orchestrated by the Archonic system. The purpose: to keep souls from ascending, from remembering their true, boundless nature. The rings serve as a cosmic treadmill, ensuring an endless procession through the same planes of existence, eternally bound by karmic debts and ignorance. It's a bleak concept that the afterlife might not be liberation, but a re-entry into the same system designed to keep us trapped. The beauty of Saturn's rings, in this context, becomes a terrifying illusion, a mesmerizing distraction from the true nature of our spiritual imprisonment. But this symbolism of a black, contained object of worship is not abstract. Indeed, the black cube symbolism is not confined to ancient myth or astronomical observation. It has been deliberately incorporated into the very heart of a major world religion, in the Kaaba in Islam. This sacred site, a crystalline black cube at the center of the Great Mosque in Mecca, is revered by millions. While its religious significance is profound to believers, esoteric interpretations reveal a deeper, more unsettling connection. The act of circumambulating the Kaaba, a ritual performed by pilgrims, mirrors the cyclical nature symbolized by Saturn's rings. The black stone embedded within it, believed to be a meteorite, adds another layer, a piece of the cosmos integrated into this earthly structure of veneration. Esoterically, it's seen as a focal point of Saturnian energy, a physical anchor for the Archonic system within a global spiritual framework. This integration raises profound questions. Is this a deliberate compromise or a cosmic echo of a universal pattern of control? The presence of the black cube here suggests a pervasive influence, a deliberate repurposing of sacred spaces to reinforce the very architecture of the soul prison. But the Kaaba is not the only physical marker of this system. Throughout history, monolithic structures, seemingly unconnected, share a common thread: their association with Saturn and their role as markers within a vast, unseen network. These aren't random stones. They are often considered boundary stones, pillars of the prison walls, placed strategically across the globe. Think of ancient obelisks, megalithic sites, and even certain modern sculptures that echo this dark, cubical form. These monoliths serve as energetic anchors, reinforcing the lines of control and limitation laid down by the Archonic system. They are physical manifestations of Saturnian influence, etched into the landscape, grounding the cosmic prison into our terrestrial experience. Their sheer scale and enduring presence hint at a colossal, ancient design. The placement of these markers, often aligned with specific celestial events or ley lines, suggests a sophisticated understanding of geomancy and energy manipulation. They are not just monuments. They are nodes in a network designed to channel and contain spiritual energy, ensuring humanity remains tethered to this plane of limitation. But this global grid of control extends beyond physical markers to influence our very cognition. Saturn's influence imprints itself onto our consciousness through a specific, potent geometric form, the hexagon. This six-sided figure is not merely a shape found in nature, like a honeycomb. It's Saturn's signature, a key element in the Archonic system's control over our perception. Look closely at Saturn's north pole and you'll see it, a colossal, persistent hexagonal storm. This geometric pattern is believed to be a blueprint for binding psychic energy, a way to lock down awareness and prevent spiritual expansion. The hexagon acts as a filter, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and even our perception of time into predictable, manageable patterns. It's a subtle yet pervasive stamp on consciousness, making us susceptible to the Archonic agenda. The appearance of this hexagon in so many different contexts, from crystalline structures to traffic patterns, is a deliberate echo of Saturn's influence. It's a symbol embedded deep within our collective unconscious, shaping our reality in ways we rarely recognize, all designed to keep us from breaking free from the endless cycle. But this cycle has a price. The system of control isn't merely abstract. It has a direct, tangible cost for those who remain unaware and unawakened. They are unknowingly participating in a process of soul harvesting, a continuous siphoning of vital energy by the Archonic entities. This is the true price of ignorance. Our life force, our spiritual potential, is the currency in this cosmic economy of control. When we are consumed by fear, by division, by materialism, we are essentially powering the very system that oppresses us. Our negative emotions, our limited perspectives, are fuel for the Archons' agenda. They thrive on our disconnection from the divine, our entrapment in the illusion of separation. This harvesting isn't necessarily a violent act, but a subtle, constant drain. It's the flickering of our inner light, the dulling of our intuition, the erosion of our deepest sense of truth. We are meant to be radiant beings, but the constant pressure of the Archonic system dims our glow, making us more compliant, more easily manipulated, and ultimately more available for further cycles of harvesting. But this control is often visually represented in the symbols of those who perpetuate it. The symbols of the Archonic system are not hidden in obscure underground texts. They are prominently displayed by those in positions of power, particularly on the Great Seal of the United States and its iconic dollar bill. These symbols are a deliberate declaration of allegiance to the Saturnian cubical paradigm of control. The unfinished pyramid, the all-seeing eye, the Roman numerals, they all resonate with the dark geometry and hierarchical structures of the Archonic architects. The Great Seal, and by extension the US dollar, serves as a potent talisman for the Archonic system. It's a constant visual reminder, broadcast globally, of the underlying order that governs our reality. The deliberate incorporation of these potent symbols acts as a form of subtle programming, reinforcing the illusion of authority and control in the minds of billions. This isn't mere coincidence or artistic license. It is a deliberate use of ancient, potent symbolism to embed the Archonic agenda into the very fabric of modern society, economy, and governance. It's a powerful indicator of who truly holds the reins of power and what cosmic forces they serve. But the Archons' methods of control are not limited to visual symbols. They extend into the very essence of our being. For the Archons, controlling humanity is as much about manipulating external structures as it is about influencing internal states. Their primary tool for psychic manipulation is through sound and vibration. They broadcast specific frequencies designed to induce fear, apathy, and obedience, keeping our consciousness locked in a low vibrational state. Our own natural resonance becomes a weapon against us when it's skewed. These frequencies are everywhere, woven into the media we consume, the technology we use, and even the ambient sounds of our environment. They create a constant, subliminal hum, a sophisticated form of auditory hypnosis that gently nudges us away from our true spiritual path and deeper into the Archonic matrix. It's a sophisticated form of energetic warfare. When we are bombarded with these discordant vibrations, our own energetic field becomes disrupted. Our creativity wanes, our intuition becomes muffled, and we feel a pervasive sense of unease or anxiety. This is not random. It is the intended effect, a deliberate impedance of our natural ability to connect with higher vibrations and access our inner truth. But throughout history, there have always been those who recognized this manipulation. The knowledge of this archonic manipulation and the limitations of Saturnian control is not entirely new. Ancient Gnostic traditions identified these forces and warned against their deceptions, urging humanity to rebel against the illusion and awaken to their true, divine nature. The Gnostic rebellion was not a physical uprising, but a profound spiritual awakening, a conscious turning away from the manufactured reality presented by the Archons. Gnostics understood that the material world, as presented by these entities, was a corrupted imitation of the true divine realm. They sought gnosis, direct, intuitive knowledge of the divine, as the pathway to liberation. This awakening involved recognizing the Archons for what they were, agents of limitation, not creators or benevolent gods. They understood that the path to freedom lay not in following the prescribed doctrines, but in questioning everything, in seeking inner truth, and in cultivating the divine spark within each individual. This rebellion is an internal one, a constant vigilance against the veils of illusion that the Archons weave. But this awakening often involves confronting inverted symbols. One of the most potent symbols of Saturnian dominion and Archonic inversion is the depiction of the cross turned upside down. While the upright cross represents divine connection and ascension, its inverse signifies a severing of that connection, a descent into materiality, and a symbolic embrace of the limitations imposed by the Archonic system. It's a visual representation of the inversion of sacred principles. This symbol is deliberately used in various contexts to denote a perversion of divine power, a turning away from the source. It represents the hijacking of spiritual forces for purposes of control and subjugation, turning the sacred into its opposite. It's a marker, a flag planted by the Archons to signify their influence and dominion over perverted spiritual energies. Seeing the inverted cross should serve as a visceral reminder of the forces at play, a visual cue that the sacred has been deliberately twisted to reinforce the very prison we are meant to escape. But the narrative of Saturn's dominion is deeply rooted in ancient myths, particularly the myth of its namesake. The myth of Cronus, the Titan often equated with the Roman god Saturn, is a profound allegory for the nature of this archonic control. Cronus, fearing being overthrown by his children, swallowed them whole, only to be eventually defeated by Zeus. This myth speaks of a primal fear of power being usurped, leading to a desperate attempt to control and consume, thus stifling growth and potential. In this allegorical sense, Cronus represents the Archonic system itself, forever consuming the life force and potential of its children, humanity. The Titans and their struggle symbolize the various cosmic forces and cycles of limitation that have been instrumental in establishing and maintaining this prison. The very name Cronus is linked to time, revealing the Archonic fascination with cyclical repetition and stagnation. The Saturnian narrative, therefore, is not just about a planet. It's about a fundamental principle of control, a parental-like dominion that seeks to devour its offspring to maintain its own precarious existence. But within this myth, and within ourselves, lies the potential for liberation, a protocol for reclaiming our sovereignty. The existence of the Archonic system and its methods of control does not mean we are without recourse. Just as ancient Gnostics recognized and resisted, there are specific exorcism protocols, not of a religious ceremony involving holy water, but of energetic and conscious recalibration. These protocols are about reclaiming our sovereignty by purging the Archonic influence from our energetic field and asserting our true divine connection. This involves consciously severing energetic cords, raising our vibrational frequency, and reaffirming our inherent divine authority. It's about understanding that we are not victims, but sovereign beings who have temporarily forgotten our true power. The true exorcism is an internal one, a fierce reassertion of the self against the manipulative forces that seek to control us. By consciously choosing to reject the illusions, to see through the veils, and to anchor ourselves in higher truths, we dismantle the Archonic architecture from within. It's an act of spiritual defiance, a declaration that we will no longer be harvested, controlled, or confined within the cyclical limitations of this matrix. This leads us to the ultimate question: what lies beyond this cycle? The path beyond the black cube and the Archonic matrix is not one of escape in the physical sense, but of a profound internal transformation and ascension. It means consciously stepping outside the cycles of reincarnation and oblivion, breaking free from Saturn's grip. This is achieved by integrating the lessons learned, transmuting karma, and aligning with the higher dimensional frequencies of the true divine source. It involves a constant practice of mindfulness, of recognizing the Archonic influence and choosing, consciously, to disengage. It means cultivating unconditional love, compassion, and wisdom, qualities that are anathema to the Archonic system of fear and division. This is the ultimate act of rebellion, the true exorcism of our souls. By shedding the illusions, reclaiming our divine heritage, and raising our vibration, we render the black cube obsolete. We step through the veils, not into another manufactured light, but into the boundless, uncreated reality that was our true home all along. The journey is arduous, but the destination is true freedom. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.